Welcome to Deco Guide, the only app designed to help you navigate your college and career journey in the quickest and most affordable way. This podcast is brought to you by EdTechquity, dedicated to opening doors to higher education and career opportunities for all.
Hello, Tech aficionados. Counselor T here today. I'm going to talk about counseling services at a community college. My main point here is that counselors are your biggest resource and advocate towards your success. So immediately learn where your counseling service is available at your college. I want to elaborate further on the types of counseling services that might be available at a college. If you're coming from high school, there's just one office, right? One counseling office that you go to, and you have your one counselor that helps you with everything related to your academic or personal situation. But at a college, yes, there's general counselors. There's a general counseling office. But know that there's also counselors in different departments across campus. For example, at my college, we have psych services counselors for more personal issues like depression, suicide, and then they're there to support students in that level of personal need. But we also have the Disability Resource Center, and by the way, every college has a Disability Resource Center by law. In there's also counselors devoted to those students that need the special attention with their learning differences or learning styles. There's also Veterans Affairs. They usually have a counselor as well that may help you with all issues as a veteran, taking advantage of the financial aid the military provides and so forth. There's also programs such as EOPS, Extended Opportunities Programs and Services, that it's available at all California community colleges. For those students who qualify, there's usually a few counselors, at least one counselor there devoted for these students. These students usually have needs of, being low income, first generation college student, being flagged as academically disadvantaged, and so forth. So there's a specific counselor that provides for these students. And then there's also cohort programs such as Puente, the Puente Project, Umoja. These two programs are directed towards helping students of Latino descent or African American experience to support them in their journey, and hopefully getting them to transfer and to move on and complete their not only their associates but something greater as a bachelor's degree. And then there's other programs like support programs, like we have if you need to pass your math, your English. We have, for example, math, we have one called Math Performance Success, and there's a counselor devoted there that supports students to make sure they pass the math class, whether they're lowest level stats class or pre-calc class. There's a counselor there to support you with that. And of course, there's financial aid. Although financial aids don't really have counselors, but they do have advisors that can help you with your financial aid application or financial aid situation, advise you as to how to best apply or what programs you qualify, or how you can make yourself available for additional financial aid programs that may be available. For example, if you're a foster youth, they can direct you to additional money for foster youth and so forth. So each of these departments have somebody that you can refer to, and in your eyes they would be considered counselors, right? Or somebody or advisors that can support you in various ways. And then the big question, of course, what kind of services do counselors provide? And now I'm going to focus more on the general counseling division, and counselors in the general counseling division offer a wide spectrum. So they're kind of not not totally experts on one thing, but experts on everything, kind of. They're generalists, if that makes any sense. But normally you go to the general counselor for academic support, of course, to create an educational plan, find out what are the graduation requirements for the degree you're trying to pursue, what are the transfer requirements, if you're not doing well in classes, what you should do if you withdraw from a class, what are the implications, if you need support getting out of probation or how to avoid probation, those kinds of questions. That's what counselors provide, right? General counselors. And then, of course, in there, tied in with academic is also career, meaning how to support you, okay, or a mechanical or engineer because you like building bikes. That kind of advice is provided. Some of the counselors are experts in using some of the assessment tools like the Myers-Briggs or the Strong Interest Inventory if you want to go that route and explore your abilities, your aptitudes to a higher level. And counselors are equipped to support you with that and kind of help you understand what the results say. And if you're inclined to being a critical thinker, then we can direct you as to what majors might be best for you, where you be most successful and happy as well. So there's career exploration. A lot of it is mostly that, and guidance, of course, to make sure you find the right major that matches the career that you want to pursue. And then, of course, there's personal. We definitely, when we're talking about academic or career, we're also talking about personal. And quite often we get into deeper water in terms of discussing real personal issues with yourself, self-esteem issues, family issues, family situations that make it very difficult for you to concentrate on campus or concentrate on your academics, I should say, and be on campus comfortable and ready to learn. So we do that as well. And you'll find that you connect with a counselor who understands you and understands your perspective, where you're coming from, and they can provide all the personal support that you need. I've done it where I provide my support and I encourage them, for example, to visit our psychological services. In fact, in many cases, I force them to go here. I'm going to send you to psych services. I think you need to discuss your situation with another counselor that will support you specifically with that matter. And so I know my limits, and I know that sometimes a student does need to see somebody there who's better prepared to provide that service. But it starts with your general counselor, right? He or she may wish to defer you to another service on campus. Normally you do need to make an appointment, so you just don't drop in, although some colleges do have drop-in hours. You find out what they are, but usually those are for really quick questions. So if you have a quick question, then that works well. But plan for this, really make an appointment. It can be in person, so you can come on campus in person, or the appointment can be on the phone. It can be online through Zoom or whatever application your college uses. But when you do make an appointment, it's usually for a half hour. Come prepared for the appointment, know what the questions are, what support do you need, and really so that your counselor and you build a rapport and really understand where you're coming from, what your needs are, and it's much more productive for both of you, for the counselor and for you, to make the best out of the half an hour. So something you should not do, and this quite frequently, unfortunately, students do make an appointment, but quite often it's during their work hours. That's a no-no. During class time, I actually hear the instructor and talking and I think we need to reschedule. Sometimes students are driving or at the grocery store, and you might think, that's harmless. I can do two things at once. It's convenient, right? Over the phone. There's, I guess, nothing wrong with that. I suppose if it's a quick question, that works, but it's not very productive, and I highly discourage it, because then you either gonna get really quick information that is not very good, or very advice that is not as sound, and you might not actually put across the concern or the issue that's in play. You might think it's one thing, but when you start talking about it and discussing it with your counselor, you find it's something else. And when you're being distracted or driving, obviously it's dangerous, then you're not getting to the real issue that needs to be addressed. In conclusion, really, after you apply to your college, next step is make an appointment with a counselor. Make sure you provide ample time to provide a nice profile of yourself. Seriously have a conversation, a really good conversation, so that your counselor can defer you if needed to financial aid, to different offices within the admissions office, the assessment office. The counselor can help you and guide you, so it doesn't seem overwhelming. But also issues of tutoring, find out where to get tutoring. It's nice to know where the resources are. Maybe defer you right from the get-go to the Disability Resource Center, so you can register there and get all the support that you need, or Veterans Affairs, or join EOPS or Umoja or Puente from the get-go. Know how to join these programs that will help you in the near future. As you can see, counselors become your biggest asset. They're your biggest resource and your biggest advocate to assure you succeed with your academic, career, and personal goals. All right. Hope this was helpful. Hope everything going well with your studies, and I'll see you at graduation. Take care. Counselor T signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning into Techo Guide, the app focused on bringing you tools and content to help you make better decisions about school, life, and career. We hope this episode has inspired you to pursue and excel in your own educational and career journey. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share.